Hi everybody, this is Certified Life Coach Denise LaFrance with Emerge Into You Coaching. And today I'd like to talk about coping with change, coping with major life's transitions. You know, there are some of us in this world who seem to be able to embrace and welcome major life changes, and it seems to be so easy for them. But I think safely say that for most of us it's much more of a struggle. And whether or not the change that you're experiencing is in your control or out of your control, we really don't know where that change is going to take us a lot of the time. And that unknown is a huge source of fear for so many women who are striking out on their own, for many for the first time. And this is especially true if you are ending a marriage via a divorce, and especially for the women who are leaving a marriage because of a change in their sexual orientation. There are lots and lots of different emotions and events that someone is experiencing from a divorce. And part of those events, a few of them rather, are the financial consideration. How am I going to afford to live on my own? How am I going to manage my money if I've never done that? What are my living arrangements going to be? I'm going to be picking out a new place, for me without anybody else's input. For some, there's a fear of isolation and of loneliness. And for others, there's a feeling of doubt that starts nagging. They've left their old life behind, and with leaving something behind, grief happens. And when grief happens, sometimes there's this nagging self-doubt of, did I do the right thing? Well, so how do we push through all of those scary, negative emotions around that particular change? And one of the ways I'd like you to try is I'd like you to take the items that are involved in the scenario that I just painted and try to detach yourself a little bit from the emotion involved, and then figure out what meaning you're attaching to the change that's occurring. It could be that you are focusing so much on the negative aspects that it's going to be difficult for you to move into that place of self-acceptance and all the wonderful things that could be awaiting you. So what I'd like you to do is reframe the way you think about things. So for instance, to give you a few examples regarding the financial situation we talked about, when you find yourself strictly worrying about how am I going to do this, you say, I will learn how to do this. I'm capable to learn how to do this. And for the first time, you won't have to answer to anyone else about your money. That's a positive way to look at it. The second scenario with your living arrangement, it could be that part of the difficulty for you is leaving a comfortable life with nice things and starting over at the age of 40 or 50 or who knows what age. When it happened to me at 37, I borrowed a hand-me-down futon for a couch, and I was using a lobster trap for a coffee table. And I had come from a nice house. But you know what? It was mine. And I was actually able to build a new life and surround myself with things that I chose ultimately. And you can do that too. You can make it yours. That feeling of loneliness and isolation, well, if you think about it, you're about to enter a whole new world where you're going to feel a connection with other women that you might have never felt before. And you will maybe for the first time be able to feel authentically you. What an awesome feeling that would feel like, wouldn't it? And in the example of my grieving and self-doubt, I want you to hear me say that it's completely normal for you to feel at some point, if you're in a place of feeling like, what did I do? Did I make a mistake? I've left everything behind. Well, that's perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. Whenever you leave something behind, that's loss. And whenever there's loss, there's grieving in order to move past that. So if you feel that way, just acknowledge you feel that way and trust that what's awaiting you around the corner, this is just part of the path to get you there. It's really important that you continue to do the things that you've always done in your life that bring you joy. You want to stay grounded in positiveness as much as you can. And, you are on the cusp of a really amazing time of self-exploration and growth. And as difficult and scary as it can be sometimes, you will, after it's all said and done, actually look back on those times as a time in your life where you grew more than you've ever grown before. And, don't be afraid with transition and change. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many changes that are difficult to go through on your own, and there's no reason to feel like you need to do that. If you don't have a support system, reach out and get a professional to help you. It's actually a very courageous move, in my opinion, to do that. So I hope you found this video in some way helpful to you. I base some of my advice on my own experience and the experiences I've seen in other women. And please just know you're not alone. And if you would like to reach me, you can do that via the contact information that's going to be at the end of this video, or you can go to my website, which is emergeintoyou.com, and you can contact me there. So take care of yourself, be well, and I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.